You say you want to go to what's next. You say you're ready. You stomped your feet into the ground, cursing spirit, wondering why it's taking so long. But when it comes at an inconvenient moment, will you hop on board? Will you drop whatever it is you were doing that you deem so important and go with it? There's something about the sun, and there's something about the arrival, assuming that it's something physical or material. And spirit is showing me that it's something that is like an eclipse, an alignment, or some kind of energetic shift, or something that's coming from the sun. There's something of a window of opportunity. I'm also getting reference to Lionsgate, but it doesn't feel like it has to do with Lionsgate. It feels like this is something that we can compare it to. But they're telling me there are intuitives that are watching this that have already picked up on this. There's a very specific solar event. I'm getting like a festival. It's not something that happens one day. It's something that happens over a span of time. Light codes that cannot be blocked. Your ride is here. Your chariot awaits you. It's now. It's not something around the corner. It's now. Do you feel something different about the energy right now? Do you feel this push or this sense of urgency? Have you also been guided to calm yourself and calm your nervous system, or whatever parts of you get into a physical sense of resistance that then leaks into the mind and becomes mental resistance? The contractions are getting shorter, is what Spirit is saying. The spiritual booming generation, or the spiritual boomer generation, rather than it be just a bunch of people having babies, it's a bunch of people rebirthing themselves at once. Welcome to the NICU. We have the Fool card coming out strong. Like two major arcanas coming out between last reading and this reading. I feel blessed. You should too. Sometimes when we go through so much difficulty in our spiritual process, it feels almost wrong when we receive these very saturated, potent, high-flying transmissions. I'm not speaking to a collective that doesn't use their intuition. I speak to a collective that's very much so boots and feet on the ground, doing the damn thing, even though you're shameful with yourself, you don't believe you're doing it right, you beat yourself up, you feel like y'all get what I mean. I speak to a collective that really suffers with shame energy. And so this is just what the doctor ordered. It's just what the divine ordered. Ask the lion. Okay? Mr. Leo over there. The guardian and protector of the water and the pool. He decided to show up on an elephant. There are limitations to your mind, and that's okay. You don't need to know. I feel like I've used this analogy a million times, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it again. Excuse my language, but the divine has been building a castle behind your backs this whole time. You've been over here distracted, doing the work that is less direct to your reality and more direct it was less forward and it was more transient. The work that you've been doing has been on all these different fractals and aspects of yourself and healing and moving through tough situations and transmuting that. And then behind your back, your own higher self, the divine, has been building a castle while you've been over here laid up in a tent. You're about ready to move in. And right now you have the mental limitation to which you have a real hard time receiving this. You have a real hard time receiving that this is for you. You have a real hard time getting out of your mindset and stepping into this. And that's normal. But when your chariot arrives, are you willing to let go of what you perceive yourself to need, to not be able to let go of? Let go of it and get on the damn chariot. You have been given access to the Ocarina of Time. I'm not near my laptop. Usually I do these readings in my room, but I wanted to do them outside today. I know somewhat of Zelda, but somebody put in the comments the Ocarina of Time because it feels like Zelda. It feels like that, you know. I'm getting like you're climbing up and your higher self is like reaching down. At some point, you're gonna meet in the middle. And it's not just by your creation, you're co-creating. And you've already done your part in a way. All you have to do is allow. All you have to do is allow. All you have to do is let go, let God, and flow. You don't need the vision. Your nervous system and your psyche, your ego wants to feel like you need to know what the game plan is and where the fuck this is all headed. Why am I cursing so much? In order for you to feel safe in it. Spirit is saying that the cursing is a byproduct of the frustration in the energy. Drops, spills, trips, stubbed toes. There's a lot of little things happening in your existence, is what Spirit is telling me, that are not a sign of impending doom or a sign that you're not doing something right. It's literally anything that will break you out of whatever resistance and tension that you were built up in that moment. Whatever momentum that you were building at that moment. This is not to contribute to any anxiety or shame around your spiritual process right now or what you're contributing to in your workings. However, right now is a very powerful time for meditation. Right now is a very powerful time to get out the way. Thank you. I'm hearing sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will not obscure you. There's stories and conflict that is intended to obscure you and put you in a state of resistance for a period of time. You found this during your golden hour. This is your golden hour, but time is relative, and consider that an hour could be a week or 2 weeks. I'm kind of getting a sense of like a month, 14 days, 14 to 40 days. of transformation that isn't action oriented. It isn't masculine based. It isn't like, I mean, the structure, I suppose, but it's just, what do you need to do for yourself to make sure that your needs are met, that you're in a peaceful place, and that you're allowing for a period of time. Only run with this message if this is validating what you're already receiving, or if it's resonating to what you're experiencing. I mean, it's not going to hurt anybody to meditate. It's not going to hurt anybody to not be in resistance for a while, or to just monitor, right? And we set ourselves up all the time because we know these are things that we should get better at. But then when we're not as good at it, or we attempt to, and then we fail at it, then it sends us into the shame spiral. Spirit is saying, you literally don't even have to be perfect at it. You just have to try and keep this in mind. Keep yourself, I'm hearing, tact to this awareness. And detach from what is not going to be able to go with you. So many of you guys are right. And this isn't, your ego needs a little bit of love. You're right. You're wondering whether or not you're perceiving your situation wrongly or inappropriately. If you are a little inflamed in your own ego, or you're biased, or you're distorted because of shit that you went through, you're right. You're perceiving things correctly. You know how many times in my life I've gone through something and it took me so long to accept what was coming into my dreams, what I was receiving intuitively, why I was feeling wonky, and I didn't want to believe it. It's not even that I didn't want to believe it, it's more that the contradiction and the gaslighting coming from individuals made me feel like, who am I to trust this over what's right in front of me? And so you're being told right now, you need a little bit of that love. You were right. You're right about this person. You're right about the situation. You're right about your family. There might be a tad bit of distortion, but you're closer to the bullseye than you think. I just heard "Pop Goes the Weasel." I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Pop goes the weasel. Is that like a song about killing weasels? And then is a weasel somebody who betrays you? You don't need to get involved. I'm getting the sense from spirit. You don't need to get involved. Somebody's karmically set themselves up to be Pop. And I'm not talking about what it sounds like I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, I'm hearing there's two types of popping going on at this time. There's like a pop, a satisfying pop, like a pimple or a zit, a release. And then there's like a pop of like a bubble, a facade, a false protection. I'm kind of getting the energy of somebody that'll like kick you and run, that'll punch you and hide, right? And then they're in their bubble, they're in their own protection. They ghost you, they discard of you, they make you feel like you're nothing, and then they don't even give you any space for you to have a say, or for you to even share your thoughts or feelings. It just becomes they're being popped. That's all you need to know. It's being taken care of. Resident Evil The resident evil in your life is being popped. I saw this TikTok, or no, it was an Instagram short of this guy who talks about like he was in the Illuminati, whatever. His name is Angel Dust, so y'all can look him up on Instagram. But it's fascinating some of the things he shares, and I feel into it. And something that he was saying was like making peace with your demon is important, inviting your demon in for tea, and talking about like the sense of like, you know, the darkness is always going to be there. It's always going to wait for you to slip. It's always going to wait for you to fall beneath a certain vibration. It's always going to wait for opportunities to throw obstacles in your path, because this is also a part of development. And so this is also a motivating factor for you to remain in a state, right? Being an incarnated being with the level of sensitivity that you have is like walking a tightrope. I'm thinking of the Two of Wands, and I want to see if I can find it, because it's like, or it's the Three of Wands, excuse me, because it's the energy of having, like, being on the fine line. Oh, it's not in this deck, but being in the fine line between good and evil, or like having both influences right there. Resident evil. It's like whatever kind of opposition you've been facing in your life, it's being taken care of. And there's a part of you that feels like you need to react to it. And Spirit is saying like, this is not the time for that. Ocarina of Time. Something about that relates to Resident Evil, and something feels like I'm not meant to fully unpack that's kind of gonna maybe lead us into what's next in another reading or something like that. But I'm gonna leave this up to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that. Maybe you guys have an experience with that video game. I don't play that video game. I don't watch those movies. So if it's something you're aware of, and you can channel some kind of meaning and understanding from that, add to it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, do all the things you do when you resonate with another human being that's here doing some shit. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.